There are 10 cities in China where AI doesn't assist the government, it is the government. China has deployed over 700 million surveillance cameras across the country. That's nearly one camera for every 2 people on the entire planet. You heard that right. One camera for every 2 people on Earth. In these 10 cities, the cameras are just where it starts. Here's what's actually running underneath them. And it all began in one place. Let's go to Shenzhen. Shenzhen. The moment you step off a train in Shenzhen, you've already been identified. You didn't trigger an alarm. Nobody looked up from a screen. The system quietly noted that you arrived, logged your face against the national database, and moved on to the next person before you reached the exit. Shenzhen isn't just a surveilled city. It's the city that invented the modern surveillance blueprint and stress-tested it on its own population first. Estimates put the number of cameras anywhere between 1.5 and 6 million. Every intersection, every transit gate, every mall entrance, every residential compound. All of it wired into a unified AI platform that processes every feed, every second, without a single human operator needing to watch. But here's what most people don't know, and this is where Shenzhen stops being impressive and starts being something else entirely. The cameras aren't the scary part. The poles are. Shenzhen's smart poles are lampposts that are simultaneously surveillance towers, reading facial data, license plates, air quality, crowd density, and 5G signals all at once, funneling every stream into the city's AI platform in real time. You walk under one without looking up. By the time you've passed it, the system has already processed you and moved on. And then there's the digital twin, a live 3-dimensional simulation of the entire city running in parallel with the physical world. City administrators don't react to problems. They watch the twin because the twin shows them what's about to happen. Congestion forming 6 minutes from now. A crowd anomaly in a specific district. A behavioral flag that already needs attention. But this was just the beginning of what Shenzhen built. The surveillance layer and the financial layer here are the same layer. Pay for coffee, and there's no card, no phone. You look at a scanner. Your face authorizes the transaction. Your biometric identity links to your bank account, which links to your transit records, which links to every camera that's ever recorded you. Every scan sharpens the model. Every transaction tightens the profile. Every entry logged at every gate adds to a record with no expiry date. Shenzhen proved it could be done, but 90 miles north, Hangzhou decided to go further. They didn't just want to watch the city. They wanted to think for it. Hangzhou. Picture yourself stuck in traffic in Hangzhou in 2015. You're trying to drive 1.5 miles. It takes 40 minutes. Hangzhou was the 5th most congested city in all of China. 10 million people grinding to a halt with no solution in sight. That problem no longer exists. Not because they built more roads. In 2016, Alibaba handed control of the city's traffic signals to an artificial intelligence. Not to assist the engineers, to replace them. City Brain was given authority over more than 1,300 traffic lights simultaneously reading camera feeds, processing GPS data citywide, adjusting signals in real time. Within 2 years, Hangzhou dropped from 5th most congested to 57th. The AI solved a problem a decade of human management had failed to crack. But this was just the beginning of what City Brain was allowed to do. When an ambulance needs to move through Hangzhou, City Brain doesn't suggest a route. It clears one adjusting signals ahead of the vehicle, creating a corridor of green lights from origin to destination. Response times cut by 49%. In a cardiac event, in a stroke, that gap is the difference between living and dying. And that decision is now made entirely by software. No dispatcher, no human override. The machine decides, and the lights change. Then came something even harder to sit with. City Brain 3, launched in 25, introduced a self-evolving AI, one of the first city systems on Earth that actively rewrites its own decision logic as it learns. It now processes data from over 700 government IT systems simultaneously: traffic, healthcare, construction risk, urban planning, all unified under one platform that updates itself. The city isn't just managed by AI. It's managed by an AI that gets smarter every single day. And woven through all of it is your face. In Hangzhou, your face is your transit pass, your payment method, your identity at every government counter. Every interaction feeds the model. The system never forgets a single entry. Hangzhou proved AI could run a city better than any human had before, but it was still one city. Then Shanghai looked at what Hangzhou built and decided to deploy it across 17 million people at once. Shanghai. You're moving through Shanghai's metro at morning rush hour. 10 million rides in a single day. Every person passing through every gate is being read by a facial recognition camera before they reach the platform. Matched against the national database, identity confirmed, account debited all in under a second. You don't feel it happen. That's exactly how it was designed. Over 800,000 cameras blanket the city. But what the cameras feed is more unsettling than the cameras themselves. Documents from a Shanghai district authority detail plans for AI cameras and drones to automatically detect crowd gatherings, flag behavioral anomalies, and alert law enforcement without a single human reviewing footage first. The system sees it. The system decides. The alert is sent before anyone has looked at a frame. And it wasn't just the streets where Shanghai pushed this further. Hangzhou Railway Station, one of the busiest in the world, uses facial recognition to board passengers. You don't present a ticket, you present your face. The same AI layer manages 17 million vehicle movements across the city every single day, adjusting signals, rerouting load, modeling congestion, no traffic engineer making calls. The AI manages it, continuously, without being asked. Then came the layer most people outside China never hear about. Shanghai deployed an AI judicial recommendation system, a platform that analyzes case data and tells judges and prosecutors whether a suspect should be arrested, released, and what sentence to consider. A machine reviewing your case, telling the court what it thinks should happen to you. The system is already in use, and courts have been urged to expand it across all proceedings by 2025. You can live an entire day in Shanghai commute, work, eat, pay, travel, and every interaction will have passed through an AI that identified you, logged it, and updated your profile. There is no gap, no moment outside the system, and Shanghai is still expanding it. But Shanghai's AI runs on scale. What comes next runs on something darker power. Because in Beijing, surveillance isn't just infrastructure. It's a statement, and the statement is, we already know where you are. Beijing. Every other city on this list built AI surveillance to manage a city. Beijing built its control one. That single difference changes everything about how the system feels when you're inside it. Beijing runs two of the most sweeping AI surveillance programs ever deployed by any government. Skynet covers every public space facial recognition, cross-referencing your face against a database of the entire Chinese population. Sharp Eyes extends further still, targeting zero blind spots. The official language is unambiguous. Omnipresent, fully networked, always working, fully controllable. But then came something that stopped researchers cold. Beijing didn't stop at faces. The city deployed gait recognition AI that identifies you by the way you walk. The rhythm of your stride, the angle of your shoulders. Cover your face, pull your hood up, turn away from the camera. It doesn't matter. The AI has your gait on file. It knows who you are from 60 feet away, in the dark, from behind. You cannot disguise the way you move. And in Beijing, that movement has already been cataloged. The subway, over 300 stations across more than 250 miles of track runs, facial recognition, boarding at every gate, every trip logged, timestamped, held, miss your regular stop. Ride at an unusual hour, go somewhere new. The system noticed. It filed it before you reached the exit. And it wasn't just the transit system running deeper. In Yishuang, 600 square kilometers of AI-enabled roads host nearly 900 autonomous vehicles from 33 companies, with over 32 million kilometers of combined test mileage. Roadside AI units communicate directly with vehicles in real time. When a truck blocks a robotaxi's sightline, the intersection camera fills the gap and routes the data straight to the vehicle's decision system. The road watches the car trusts the road. And the system behind both is the same one watching you board the subway. Shenzhen built the infrastructure. Hangzhou gave it a brain. Shanghai scaled it. Beijing made it a political instrument. But the next stop proves that political surveillance has nothing on deploying AI across 32 million people inside a geography that would make any engineer sweat. Welcome to Chongqing, Guangzhou. You're on a Guangzhou metro platform, and it isn't crowded yet. What you don't know is that 11 minutes from now, this platform will be overwhelmed. The AI already knows it. It redistributed train frequency 4 minutes ago. The surge you never felt was handled before you arrived. Guangzhou's metro crowd management system doesn't respond to congestion. It predicts it, modeling passenger flow citywide, cross-referencing historical patterns, weather, and event schedules, then adjusting train sequencing before the spike lands. You ride the metro, and everything feels smooth. What you're feeling is an AI running millions of calculations per minute to engineer that experience without you ever knowing it intervened. But this was just the surface of what Guangzhou built. The smart city brain, deployed across 11 administrative districts, processes feeds from over 560,000 cameras citywide. At every toll, every port checkpoint, every arterial road entry, AI cameras read license plates and faces simultaneously, cross-referencing both against the national database in the same second. Your plate is logged, and your face is matched. The system doesn't choose between them. And then there is the layer that doesn't appear in efficiency reports. Guangzhou's public security AI runs predictive analytics, not just watching where you are, but modeling where your behavior is heading. It cross-references movement patterns against purchase histories, social behavior flags, and location data to build risk profiles. You haven't done anything, but the AI has noticed your pattern shifted, that you've been somewhere unusual. It doesn't send an officer. Not yet. It files the deviation, and the file grows. In parts of Guangzhou, facial recognition payments account for over 60% of transactions in certain commercial districts. Cash hasn't just declined, it has effectively ceased to exist. Your face is the wallet. The AI is the bank. And every transaction tightens the connection between your financial identity, your biometric identity, and the behavioral profile the system has been quietly building since the first camera read your face. Guangzhou made the AI layer invisible while running it deeper than anything its residents ever felt. But the city after it faces a completely different problem. Not invisibility, but sheer overwhelming scale. Because 32 million people spread across one of the most geographically complex cities on Earth is a challenge that would break any conventional system. But not this one. Chongqing. Most cities build AI on top of a grid. Chongqing doesn't have one. It has mountains, river canyons, highways stacked at 6 different levels, tunnels through rock, and 32 million people moving through geography that would break any conventional system before it started. And yet Chongqing ranked among the world's top 3 most surveilled cities. Because the harder the problem, the deeper they had to build the machine. The AI traffic system here doesn't operate in 2 dimensions. It operates in 3 modeling elevation changes: tunnel flows, bridge load distribution, and the cascading bottlenecks of a city that grows upward as often as it grows outward. Every major bridge crossing and tunnel entry is fitted with AI cameras reading every vehicle and every face in real time. You do not pass through Chongqing unrecorded. That is not physically possible. But then came the layer nobody talks about when they discuss traffic management. At large public events here, the crowd analytics platform doesn't just count people, it reads them. The AI monitors crowd density at the individual level, tracks body language, and models emotional state indicators detecting tension and agitation before any visible incident occurs. When the system flags something, security receives an alert telling them exactly where to look, and what the AI has already decided warrants attention. Nothing has happened yet. The machine has simply decided that something might. And it wasn't just crowds that Chongqing decided to watch this closely. Over 16,000 monitoring devices feed an AI flood prevention platform. Weather stations, hydrographic sensors, river monitors, unified into a system that runs 3-dimensional riverbank models, calculates disaster zones in real time, and generates evacuation routing before conditions become critical. 7 major basin-wide floods in 5 years, 0 casualties, 0 dam failures. The AI was running the whole time. In Chongqing, the surveillance layer, the transport layer, and the disaster layer are not 3 separate systems. They are one system, watching everything simultaneously. The city didn't just adapt to AI, it had no other choice. But if Chongqing is the city where AI had to go deepest to survive, the next stop is the city where AI had to go broadest. Because Tianjin isn't managing a mountain, it's managing the edge of the world. Tianjin is where a megacity meets the global supply chain, and the AI running it has to manage both simultaneously, without a gap between them. One of China's first officially designated new smart city pilots, Tianjin wired everything into a single AI command layer from the start: transport, public security, energy, and port operations unified under one platform. At the center sits the Tianjin AI Computing Center, which by 2024 had reached 300 petaflops of processing power, with plans to scale to 1,000. At 1,000 petaflops, the center can run AI governance models for the entire Beijing-Tianjin-Hebei region at once. This isn't a city's brain, it's a region's. But then came the layer that makes Tianjin unlike any other port city on Earth. In certain zones of the port of Tianjin, one of the world's busiest, there are no human operators running the cranes. Autonomous guided vehicles move containers. AI systems manage stacking, berth scheduling, and vessel loading without human input. The port isn't automated in the sense of machines assisting humans. It's automated in the sense that machines have replaced the decisions entirely. And it wasn't just the port running deeper than expected. Facial recognition is embedded into public housing compounds, school entrances, and government service centers citywide. You don't use a key to enter your building. You use your face. Every entry logged, every exit timed, every deviation from your pattern filed. When authorities in Tianjin want to find someone, they don't issue a search. They query the system. And the system already knows where that person is. Tianjin manages the collision point between 15 million people and the global economy with an AI running the interface. But the next city didn't build its surveillance layer to manage trade. It built it to survive a pandemic. And then, it never turned it off. Wuhan. In 2020, the world watched Wuhan. While it was being watched, it was being rebuilt, not just physically, but digitally. The infrastructure deployed during the crisis wasn't decommissioned when it ended, it was upgraded. And what it became is one of the most deeply fused AI surveillance systems in China. At the height of the crisis, police wore smart helmets combining facial recognition with infrared temperature scanning, identifying people in crowds while reading their temperature simultaneously. Checkpoints fused identity verification, health status, and movement logging into a single pass. One scan, 3 data points, all retained. But this was just the beginning of what the infrastructure became. When the emergency lifted, every camera stayed. The health monitoring layer folded into the public security grid, and the combined system became something Wuhan hadn't had before: a platform where medical data, behavioral data, and identity data sit in the same place, managed by the same AI. The system now knows not just where you are, but how you were previously flagged, when, and what was decided. Wuhan's metro, over 250 miles of track, runs AI crowd prediction across every station, modeling which platforms will surge and adjusting train sequencing before the spike lands. In the East Lake High-Tech Zone, autonomous shuttles run fixed routes with no driver booking through your phone, identity confirmed by your face at boarding. The city that the world watched in 2020 is now one of the most comprehensively AI-managed in China. The crisis gave them the justification to build it. The infrastructure gave them no reason to stop. Wuhan rebuilt itself around the surveillance architecture the pandemic justified. But even that transformation looks incremental next to what's running in Chengdu, a city that built one of the deepest AI systems in the country so quietly that almost nobody noticed. Chengdu. Chengdu has a reputation that doesn't match what's running underneath it. People picture tea houses and a slower pace. And while they were picturing that, Chengdu quietly deployed 7,000 AI-controlled traffic signals, one of the densest AI traffic networks in the world. These signals don't run on timers. They run on predictions. The system learns continuously, updating its models with every hour of real-world data, getting sharper about when congestion will form, where it will spread, how long it will last. You drive through Chengdu, and the lights feel unusually cooperative. What you're feeling is an AI that has studied this city long enough to anticipate what you're going to do before you do it. But this was just the layer everyone could see. The metro is integrated with a facial recognition layer linked to Chengdu's public security cloud biometric data for the entire municipal population. Every entry, a data point. Every data point feeds a profile. And because Chengdu sits in one of China's most seismically active regions, its digital twin does something no other city on this list does. It runs continuous earthquake simulations. integrating live seismic sensor data from across the region, modeling how a major event would move through the city's infrastructure, updating emergency routing constantly. The city is preparing for a disaster that hasn't happened yet. The simulation is running right now, every second of every day. Then came the detail that completes the picture. In Tianfu New Area, roads are embedded with sensors that feed real-time conditions directly to vehicles. The vehicle doesn't navigate the road guides the vehicle. Facial payment here ranks among the top 3 in China. Your face opens doors, boards trains, pays for lunch. Every transaction updates the same profile the metro camera already logged this morning. Chengdu made its AI layer invisible while running it deeper than most residents ever felt. But the last city on this list never had to make anything invisible because it was built for AI from the ground up before a single resident arrived. Xiongan. Imagine designing a city from a blank page. Before a single foundation is poured, before a single road is laid, you make one decision. AI will not be integrated into this city later. It will be the operating system from day one. That city is Xiong'an, and it is already running. 65 miles southwest of Beijing, Xiong'an was announced in 2017 as China's proof of concept, a purpose-built city designed to show what urban life looks like when it is born in the age of AI rather than adapted to it. Every building, every road, every pipe has a digital twin built alongside its physical construction. The city and its simulation were built simultaneously. Xiong'an's urban computing center has been operational since late 2022, the city's central AI brain, processing real-world data from every district and feeding it back into the twin in real time. Then came the detail that makes every other city on this list look like a prototype. 20 meters below street level, an underground utility corridor houses nearly 10,000 sensors across more than 20 categories, reading pipeline pressure, temperature, flow rates, and structural conditions continuously. When a deviation is detected, the system alerts the response team before any human has noticed a problem above ground. The maintenance crew in Xiong'an doesn't diagnose issues. The city tells them what's wrong before it surfaces. Autonomous vehicles are not a pilot here. They are the default. Residents book a self-driving bus through their phone, face confirmed at boarding. Navigating smart roads that feed real-time conditions directly into the vehicle's decision system, reacting to obstacles 10 times faster than any human driver. The road guides the vehicle. The city manages itself. And there are no legacy systems, no infrastructure that needed rewiring. Every resident enrolled in the unified biometric identity system from the moment they arrived. Face, financial identity, transit access, residential clearance, all under one platform, all readable by the same AI. There is no version of daily life in Xiong'an that doesn't pass through that system. That was not an accident. That was the design. Shenzhen built the blueprint. Hangzhou gave it a brain. Shanghai scaled it. Beijing weaponized it. Guangzhou made it invisible. Chongqing made it inescapable. Tianjin made it industrial. Wuhan made it medical. Chengdu made it silent. And Xiong'an made it the city itself. 700 million cameras, 10,000 sensors under a single city block. An AI that knows your face, your gait, your payments, your movement patterns, and the exact moment your behavior deviates from your baseline. These 10 cities are not a warning about the future. They are a present that is already fully operational. The only question left, the one nobody has answered yet, is where the blueprint gets used next.